So, since our audience is from all over the world, I'd like to start off by saying good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And thank you for joining us for this breakout session here at the Leader Summit. This breakout is about the Young SDG Innovators Program, and our aim with the session today is to convince you of why it's a good idea for your company to join the program for the 2021-2022 round. Just to briefly introduce myself, my name is Matilda Weibel from the UN Global Compact, and I'm the program manager for the Young SDG Innovators Program. So the way that we're going to go about this is by me first giving an introduction to our program so that you get a better sense of what it is and what kind of opportunities it presents to your company. I will also go through some of the key outcomes that we have collected from the first two rounds running this program. But in my experience, slides are only so effective. So I think it would also be more interesting for you to hear from the people who are personally involved and actively participating in the program as we speak. So I have invited 3 of our participants to talk about the solutions that their teams are working on and what their experience has been with the program so far. I'm also very happy to be joined by my colleague from the Global Compact Network India, who is currently managing the program in India, and will be sharing her insights on why she thinks the program is important and valuable for companies and young professionals. So, what is the Young SDG Innovators Program? The Young SDG Innovators Program is an innovation and entrepreneurship accelerator that activates future business leaders by teaching them how to use the Sustainable Development Goals to unlock new business opportunities and rethink traditional business models. In more pragmatic terms, it's an accelerator program that stretches over a 10-month period where the participants goes on a journey to first identify a sustainability challenge the company is facing and learns how to relate it to the SDGs. Only after the challenge has been properly defined, the team then starts to work on a solution. The participants work in company teams of 2 to 4 and attend various camps and workshops where they are equipped with tools and techniques to help them on their way so that they're able to develop a project that is also of value to the company. In reality, the Young SDG Innovators Program is designed to engage the best and the brightest talents in not only advancing their company's sustainability efforts, but also to drive innovation and deliver tangible solutions with potential market value for the company. So the countries that we're currently running the program in is this list of 16. But we are expanding upon this list for the next round. So we have already confirmed Georgia and Belarus that will be joining as well. As you can see, there are also representation from all the continents of the world. So this is in truth a global program. And in terms of the companies that can participate, of course, you have to be a Global Compact member. But we don't really discriminate in terms of large or small companies. We're open and welcome you all. So whether you are a leading company in the sustainability field or a SME or a multinational company, we really encourage these kind of diverse mixes of companies within the different program or locally delivery of the program. So if you're interested, then you're definitely welcome. So in terms of the more company benefits that the companies receive from participation, it's really quite straightforward. Through collaboration, innovation, and knowledge sharing, your team that you're sending to participate, learns how to accelerate integration of the SDGs into company business strategies. This can also create a culture of innovation to address the SDGs and showcase the program's tangible outputs and results. Companies definitely have an opportunity to do this at our annual flagship event, the Innovator Summit, which we're holding every year in October, which is a specific event for innovators where they can showcase the solutions that they've been working on, and the tangible outcomes of participating in the program. So in that regard, it's also a great opportunity for gaining global recognition for your participation. And then, of course, it increases employee engagement and professional development opportunities for valued talent throughout your organization. So in terms of program outcomes, over the past 2 years, we have managed to engage 870 young professionals from 335 companies in those 16 countries that I showed you on the slide before. And we send out different surveys where we ask for their satisfaction about the program. And on a scale from 1 to 5, where 5 is very satisfied, the average satisfaction score of the program has been 4.3, which we're very happy about. And even greater, on the right-hand side, you can see here that an overwhelmingly 94% of the program participants recommend or have already recommended their friends or colleagues to participate in the program. In terms of our KPIs, we can see that 81% increased their knowledge about sustainability and the Sustainable Development Goals, and not at the same percentage, but overwhelming majority also increased in knowledge about how the SDGs relate to their company. And then over half expanded their global professional network, and about half gained confidence to become a change maker within the company internally. Another thing that we're also very interested or happy about is this metric down in the bottom right corner. So after a year, after the first round was completed, we sent out a survey where 60% or almost 60% of the projects have either been completed or are still active a year after the program's end. And this is also something that is very important to us. We still want to follow what happens to these projects even after the program's end. And when we followed up with the people that had terminated programs or projects, we realized that about the same percentage, around 60%, reported that it's likely that these projects are not terminated for good, but might be active again in the future. So the more kind of examples of the solutions that have been developed. Here we have New Day from Denmark, we have GSK from UK, and Solar from Turkey. And as you can see here, one of them, New Day, they had a challenge where they wanted to reduce the energy consumption and subsequent CO2 emissions from video streaming services. And they came up with a solution called Greenstream, where they allowed users to download TV shows when green energy was available instead of streaming it at peak hours. Excuse me. On the other side here, you can also see we have even a larger database of projects that are really interested and really address the SDGs in a breakthrough innovation context. So here, DBL Group from Bangladesh, for example, wanted to reduce the loss of fabric during the dyeing and finishing operations of textile manufacturing. And through process optimization and process innovation, they managed to actually cut down the industrial water pollution footprints. So now that I've gone through and showed you the basics of the program, I hope you're a little bit more familiar with what it is that the program is all about. But I would like to invite Panchali to join me on this panel. Panchali Sharma is the Membership Officer in Global Compact Network India and is the one managing the Young SDG Innovators program in the network. Panchali, it's great to see you and welcome to the panel.
Matilda, thank you for giving me this opportunity. You're doing fine.
It's my pleasure. So I think just to kick off with a question, it's the first time that the local network in India are running this program. So I also wanted to ask you, what was it that made you decide to run the Young SDG Innovators specifically? What was it that appealed to you about this program?
Thank you for your question. So I'd like to start with that Global Compact Network India is a country multi-level platform to provide a robust opportunity for all the Indian businesses and several other organizations who have joined hands for strengthening responsible business practices. The Young SDG Innovator Program is an opportunity for all the member participating companies of Global Compact Network India, the young talents within their organization who can collaborate and learn to develop business innovative solution towards a sustainable development goal. This program has helped in enabling the future business leader and change makers to develop and drive innovation and solution through new technology initiatives and business model, and to deliver on their company's sustainability objective. So this is the first time Global Compact Network India is running the program. We have received a very good response from all the companies who have participated in this program from various sectors, ranging from oil and gas producer, pharmaceuticals, industrial metals and mining, industrial transportation, software services, etc. So, and most of the innovators are mainly from the CSR and the sustainability department of the companies. Since India is one of the budding innovation hub in the global market, so there are many innovation development that is happening in the country. So YSIP is a very well received value proposition by our member organization. And in order to implement this program successfully in India, so GCNI has partnered with one of our member organization who have its own Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development. So it has helped in implementing the program more successfully in India. And also by running this program, we have completed a few of the modules and the camps of the program. So we are currently able to provide an opportunity to the companies to gain global recognition by participating in the program, along with collaborating with different innovative experts. Through this program, GCNI will also be able to provide the exposure to the companies for peer-to-peer learning and networking, which can also lead to development of many innovative projects in future. Thank you, Matilda.
Yeah, that's really great. And you're touching upon a lot of benefits there for the companies that are participating, especially that it helps them to become more innovative. But in your opinion, what is it that is so important for companies at this time and age? Why should companies embrace innovation?
I think innovation is very important for companies because innovation is the crux of development and entrepreneurship. Innovation is currently the need of our. As to innovation in businesses, it can improve the existing products, services, and methodology, and they can create new one from the scratch. And successful innovation always allow company to add more value to their business, and thereby it also help in increasing their profit. With globalization, a very rapidly growing market, there is an increased level of competition across different competitors than never have been before. So innovating thinking can help the companies predict the market and keep up to their customers' need. And innovation is also the key driver of economic growth. Traditionally, innovation was only limited to research and development, but while there is quite a lot of space for this kind of innovation, as information, knowledge, and cutting-edge tools is now instantly available for internet. Hence, innovation in today's time is all about applying the existing knowledge, technology, and resources in order to solve a given business problem. And I also believe the great thing about innovation is that anyone can learn to innovate if they are given the right kind of training for skill development. And adoption of innovation business model can create a strong and sustainable competitive advantage for the company. Thank you.
And just more because the YSIP or Young SG Innovators program is also youth oriented specifically. So I'm also interested because it was a very good answer in terms of why innovation should be embraced by companies. But as we can also see, innovation oftentimes come from the younger people in an organization that don't always get that ability to show what they have and what they can actually do. So do you think this program also is a good way to leverage youth within companies? And why is that important?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Matilda. I think youth is very important for all the companies to engage youth in this growing market, and also in this scenario where the pandemic COVID-19 has struck across all over the countries in the world. So, and going to your question, like youth are the effective change makers in the society if they are given the right kind of opportunity to perform, and any behavioral change in company which can be brought by the youth, as they are the change developers. And youth engagement is also seen as very most sustainable and effective in a lot of researches when it's come to solving global and local challenges. Youth innovation idea can also drive social changes, and also generate positive outcomes. The youth participation usually promote large scale conservation and also social participation as well. Engaging young generation in decision making can build social cohesion in various problem solving scenarios. Therefore, it's very important, it's very imperative to engage with the youth, as there is a wide digital gap that needs to be filled in the current scenario. And this further create an opportunity for the companies to invest and understand the younger generation. Companies need to look at partnering with more organization which can engage more younger generation in order to create a mutual cohesive and a beneficial relationship. And also, I believe that there is a very important need to pivot the focus of the younger generation and prepare them for the workforce. After all, they will be the one who will be, ending up and shaping it up. In order to do so, the company needs to look at ways how they can close the gap which exists between what company requires and what young people can offer to the companies. And in order to close this gap, there is a very greater level of understanding is required. And for that, delivery of training is highly important, and hand-on approach which is needed. And I believe YSIT is a very good example for such kind of program, as it provides the right kind of skills and exposure into the entrepreneurial work by teaching them, the innovators, to create and innovate new ideas into their businesses. Thank you.
That's great. And I think you touched upon two other very big topics there, COVID and digitalization. And I mean, for us, all of 2020 and 2021, we have had to run this program virtually. And to a certain extent, right, then it's good that we're engaging youth, because they're more adaptive to embrace those kind of new innovative delivery mechanisms. So what is a way, obviously we would want to run this program in person, but current circumstances is not allowing us to do that. So what is a way that you have managed to create engagement and to still successfully implement this program in a virtual way?
So for in India, we have developed camps, developed the modules into different kind of camps, and in camps we have included different facilitating session which we have forwarded to our innovators, where they can come and join. And this innovating session, we have welcomed a lot of guest speakers and in a subject expert, subject expert, where they can give the right kind of guidance and mentorship to the innovators who have participated in the program. So I believe as of now, it's going fine, because everybody is accustomed to using, to be active in this digital world. And this is very important, because by using digital as a means of implementing the program, we are able to touch different regions. Since India is a diverse country, in a physical event, probably it won't be possible for for innovators and companies from different states joining this program. But however, digitalization of this program has given us that leverage to engage more and more companies, not only who are located in the center of the country, but also from different parts of the country. So I believe that it's a very it also has its own advantages, but also we believe that person to person, human to human connect is also very important. So yes.
Yeah, hopefully we can go back to that very soon.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Panchali, for your insights. I think you touched upon several good points in relation to the importance of companies to engage youth and embrace innovation. So thank you so much for joining today. I now want to invite the three young innovators to the panel and ask them to share their knowledge and experience as well. So the first one I will be introducing here is Hebba Khan. Hebba is a civil engineer and project manager working with the global engineering, management, and development consultancy, Mott MacDonald. Within the International Development Unit, Hebba leads the integration of sustainability and social outcomes, highlighting the opportunities that both of these bring to her clients and communities. She's joining us from the Young SDG Innovators cohort in the United Kingdom. Welcome.
Thank you.
Then we're also joined by Roberto Rodriguez, who is joining us from the Brazilian Young SDG Innovators program. Roberto has a background in economics and is an investment specialist and financial planner. He works for Sicredi as a regional investment manager. Welcome, Roberto. And then last but not least, we have Sarah Sadeh. Sarah has a background in intercultural communications and translations and holds the position of content writer at Banque Libano François, where she is responsible for the group's communication and does content marketing and PR in French, English, and Arabic. She's joining us today from the Young SDG Innovators program in Lebanon. Welcome, the three of you.
Thank you very much.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So to kick us off, I actually wanted to ask a question that is very similar to the one that I asked Panchali, which is, what was it about the Young SDG Innovators program that caught your interest? Why did you apply and why did you decide to join? Hebba, why don't we start with you?
Sure, yeah. So for me, it was really the structure of the program. I think Panchali talked a lot about youth and how it has to be led by youth. And I agree with that completely. You know, I think the younger generation, they understand the urgency of the situation, maybe more than others. But more than understanding it, I think they feel the urgency. So that commitment and that enthusiasm is so much higher. But it's more than that, because we've got a team of 4 younger people, but we've also got a champion and we've got a mentor. Because I think you really need that gravitas behind you so that you have that support to push things through. And that's certainly how it's been in practice. You know, there's certain people that we've engaged with who have been very enthusiastic because they believe it should be youth-led, as do I. But there's other people who have needed that kind of serious high-level support in order to engage with us. And together it's worked really well. We've had huge positive feedback.
That's great. Roberto and Sarah, do you agree that it's the structure of the program and the fact that it's youth-led but still has that connection to senior management that can help you go through?
For sure, Matilda, I totally agree with Hebba that the structure, and I'd add that the fact that we have chance to be in contact with a huge network of innovators to see what's going on in other countries, in other companies. So it's really rich for our experience, and that's amazing. It's been a really great experience for us here in Brazil.
It's really great to hear. And Sarah, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, for me, for example, I'm very passionate about many topics revolving around sustainable development goals, such as mental health and gender equality in particular. So this is why I decided to join this program. I was actually nominated by my management. And for example, did you know that in Lebanon, for example, women cannot open a bank account for their minor children? So for me, there are problems that we need to tackle right now. So can you imagine someone like me, for example, having to tell a woman, I'm sorry, ma'am, you're going to have to come back with your husband's signature, for example. So for me, my passion for these topics made me want to participate in this program. And since Banque Libano Française is the founding member of Global Compact Network in Lebanon, and they have a deeply established CSR strategy, I thought this program would help me make an actual difference, at least on my company's level. So for me, that was my main motive. It's the changes that need to start happening right now.
Very encouraging. And now that you touched upon the topic of your company's challenges and what they are doing in terms of their CSR ambition, sustainability ambition, what is it that your challenge and solution is about in the program?
Okay, so idealistically speaking, we would have loved to tackle SDG 5, gender equality, for all the reasons I just stated. But given the current political, economic, and social crisis in Lebanon, including the pandemic and the blast that happened last summer, we decided to take another direction because it seemed more appropriate given the circumstances. So actually, what we decided to work on is we decided to implement an internal volunteering program so that employees can start contributing to the SDGs that they relate to the most, because we believe that this will enhance their mental health because it will give them a sense of purpose. So what we're doing is we're going to implement. We already the aim is to transform actually Banque Libano Française's existing volunteering initiatives into a structured corporate volunteering program, and this way we will be contributing to SDG 3, helping the mental health of the employees who were on the front lines during the COVID pandemic and during the economic crisis. So they've been going through a lot. And at the same time, we will be tackling many other SDGs because each employee can choose the SDG that the company that the NGO, the NGO that he relates to the most and the cause that speaks to him or her the most, and therefore contribute to the SDG that's most relatable. So this is the challenge that we're tackling given the circumstances.
That's very, very interesting. And I also think, considering that WHO was out 2 years ago and said that mental health is a world crisis that needs to be addressed, it's a very timely and a much needed solution to be incorporated. So thank you for sharing that. I want to give over the word to Hebba to share what it is that your company team is working on as well.
Sure, yeah. So in Mott MacDonald, we actually do a lot towards the SDGs, and we address a lot of them. We've got 7 direct SDGs, and we've got a whole SDG framework called Signposts to Sustainability, which shows how it maps to kind of our organizational structure. So there's a lot going on with the SDGs. And so what we chose is SDG 17, Partnership for the Goals, because we were trying to find a way of linking them together. And we've got a 3-word mantra, which is making SDGs tangible. But from that, it's a bit more detailed. I can't condense it into 3 words, but so making SDGs more tangible is really important because they have a value beyond a tick box exercise if used at the beginning of a project to inspire this systems thinking. So all of the connections that they show us, the interdependencies of the world. So using those through the SDGs to prove that they speak to our purpose, because our purpose is very much about furthering, social outcomes and digital and technical excellence. So if we can take all that in our engineering projects, prove that using the SDGs speaks to that purpose and will, open opportunities, that's what we were saying we really want to do. So using SDG 17 and Partnership for the Goals, we're looking at artificial intelligence. And if that artificial intelligence can map projects against the SDGs, then our clients against the SDGs, then the country's national action plan against the SDGs, all of a sudden you can see the interconnections between what you're working on and where the country wants to be. You can see that there's open doors that you haven't even thought of and opportunities and all sorts of things like that. So that's very much what we want to do. But another thing that we've done within Mott MacDonald, because we've got an innovation framework, and one of the ideas of the mentors was to open it up. So we haven't finalized our solution. We've got an ideas campaign running until I think the 11th of June. And so then everyone can contribute, everyone can feel like they're a part of the solution. And once we get that, we'll see how we can combine that with the AI, with everything else, and come up with something that answers it all.
It definitely sounds very ambitious, which is also what this program is all about, breakthrough innovation. Just a follow-up question, because it sounds like you're engaging a lot of different stakeholders. So it's like a very multi-stakeholder approach. Has that been challenging in order to kind of find those type of people internally in terms of navigating sourcing those contacts?
Actually, not that much. We've just received such enthusiasm, and I guess one of the approaches that was taught very much on the program was, look for those early adopters. The mainstream people will come, but the early adopters are forgiving. They have time to spend. It doesn't matter if you don't have the solution. You're like, this is 50% of the solution. Like, where do we go from here? So that's been they've been really clear to us, and they've been recommending others. And yeah, we've engaged like 60 or 70 people now, so it's been amazing.
Wow. That is truly incredible. Roberto, over to you. What is it that your challenge and solution is all about?
Yeah, our team here in Sicredi, we are working to try to address the SDG 8, that's decent work and economic development, and SDG 10, reduce inequalities. Our challenge is trying to disseminate the opportunities to small businesses to develop them, especially in communities with low economic dynamism. We aim to have the opportunity to increase, to give the opportunity to them to increase their income level by introducing them to a network that allows them to expand partnership and things like that. And these are challenging. We are trying to do that by creating an incubator for small businesses. But these businesses are not just common businesses that we want to be with us. We'd like to have 3 characteristics. One is that participative management. Another is that the business has any social benefit or any social good impact, and committed with the sustainable practices. This is our challenge.
That's a really good criteria, definitely, to almost filter out the ones that have a different purpose than simply to make a profit. And build them up with the incubator that you were talking about. Is that a digital platform that you have in mind then, in order to kind of collect these small businesses into an incubator?
Not really. Brazil is a really big country, and the access to services like internet, for example, is not in every place. So we would try to bring these small businesses by our real network. Sicredi has spread all around the country, more than 2,000 offices. And as a credit union, we are already committed with social and with sustainability. And we know lots of initiatives that may be fostered by this project, and we'll try to gather them by our network, because we're really in touch with our communities we belong. So we don't know really how it's going to be the process of incubation, but to reach these businesses, we'll use not a digital platform for, at least at the beginning, maybe in the future.
That's also the first step, right? Define the goal and what it is that you want to do, and then everything else, the technicalities, come afterwards. So yeah. Very interesting. Also very interesting to hear. Maybe that will be a follow-up question later, but the challenges working in such a large company, because I can imagine that there's some navigating the internal dynamics can be challenging at times. Would you agree?
Yeah. I'd like to say that in Sicredi, it's not too much, because sustainability is in our blood, by saying that. We're, as a cooperative, the social commitment, with social circumstances, and so we work to provide an alternative in terms of more sustainability financial system. So the SDGs is like in our blood, and we are learning a lot, and we try to improve that. And our management are really committed, and they really encourage us to be part of it. This is second time that we have the Young SDG program here in Brazil. In the first edition, we had a group you showed us, and it's been an amazing experience.
That's really great to hear. I want to change the topic a little bit, and I'm also just interested in hearing what has been, the biggest learning so far. You're halfway through the program now. What would you classify or say has been the biggest learning so far in the program? Sarah, over to you.
Okay, for me, I think it's the importance of understanding the problem we are tackling before trying to find a solution. Because, for example, when we started working, we identified the problem, and then we directly started looking for potential solutions. And actually what we learned during the camps is that we need to understand the problem, its causes, the consequences, the ramifications, and everything that's related to the problem, and then the solution will kind of come for itself. So actually we used a problem tree where we added everything we could think of about the problem, and it helped a lot. And this is something I started adopting for everything not YSIP related. So for me, this is one of the most important things that I learned. There's also another thing that I found really interesting. It's the prototype booklet that was posted on the hub. I actually needed to read something like this. It's so useful because I tend to dwell on every little detail when I work on something. So this booklet was really very, very interesting for me. Because it's gonna I'm gonna avoid wasting time and energy from now on because of the solutions that I found in this booklet. So yeah, that's kind of it.
Amazing. That's also one of the priorities that we made when we designed the program, to really emphasize the importance of defining the challenge and the problem before you start developing the solution. So happy to hear that that's been a great learning so far. Hebba, over to you to what has been your greatest learning?
Yeah, I think mine's similar to Sarah's and similar to what you were just saying, Matilda, because I think they said it on the first camp right at the beginning, love the problem. No, do not love the solution, because, I'm an engineer. I like to solve problems. I jump straight to the solution. And that's not the right way of looking at it, because if you love the solution, then you're going to look for confirmation biases. You're going to always see things that support your solution. And you're not going to be true to the problem, which is the most important thing. So by loving the problem, you can change the solution completely, and that's absolutely fine. The problem is the key.
Great. And Roberto, would you agree as well?
Yeah,
the problem is the key.
Yeah, and for me, I would add that what the program has really taught me, it's how to move from an idea to a structured project. That's been amazing, and we have to think about every possible question. And we have to try to have an answer for every one of them. So the every step we pass through the program, it's really rich. But for me, the biggest learning is that we become with just an idea, and suddenly this idea it start to be just like a great project with great answers, and so really interesting, this one.
Great. So everyone are in agreement. I think another thing that I also picked up just listening to you and how you work with your team and your company is that it seems that you have a lot of support from either your champion or even higher up senior management within your company. And is that something that you're feeling? Because I suspect can be difficult for some people in certain companies to navigate certain environments and to gain that support. So what is it that is it something you have done, or is it something internally from your company that has already existed?
Yeah, here in Sicredi, Sicredi is one of the Global Compact signatories. So the SDGs is in our agenda, like I said, and we have lots of support, and we don't have like a problem. It's been really easy to work in the program, and the goals of the program and like the purpose of our credit union are really like similar, and it's not difficult for us to link the business with the SDGs. So we have lots of support, and it really makes a difference for us.
Would you agree, Hebba, that you have the same situation in your company organization?
Yeah, huge support for, I mean, since we joined the UN Global Compact, and just, I think maybe the champion and the mentors and everyone else kind of saw a different level, and it's what you were talking about at the beginning, Matilda, because, you know, the team was like, we're going to solve this, we're going to do this, it's going to be amazing, we're going to solve all of these things. And our champions kept saying, but, you know, how are you going to develop? Tell me that first, because that's the first step and that's the first stage. So I think they really understood how we would develop and how much then we could lead, you know, innovation campaigns within the company as we are doing, and that it would all filter down.
Great. I have one final question for all of you, and it's more in terms of the second half of the program. So I believe that it's now been unlocked. We're all done with the first kind of camp on solution development. So we have moved over to the next stage in terms of validation, and then eventually, you know, learning how to pitch your solution in front of senior management and how to really communicate and navigate these environments internally and externally of the company. So what is it that you're looking forward to most here in the second half of the program? But you're on my screen, so go ahead.
So yeah, for me, I think it's the prototyping. As much as I love the problem, obviously, maybe a bit too much because it was hard to find solutions after that. But now to actually try the solutions and to see what people think. And one of the things they said about through the program as well is really to just fail fast. When I started the program, I thought, God, if it fails, it will be the most terrible thing. And now I think I'm looking forward to trying it and it failing and us fixing it and us measuring how it fails and being quite what's the word, like controlling about all of those things so that we really get them learning that follows it through, that then makes it a successful solution.
Sarah, what are you most looking forward to?
For me, I'm really looking forward to the implementation phase of the project. We're still in the conceptual phase at the moment, and I'm really curious to discover the learning methods and tools for the rest, and start seeing actual tangible results and sustainable change following the execution of our project.
That's what I like to hear. That makes me very happy. Roberto?
Yeah,
over to you.
Sarah, I'm excited to the stage of validation and prototyping, because our team has, like, by saying, a really good conceptual idea of the project, of our proposal, of what we want. But as the time goes by, we are getting closer to the moment where we test it for real and to realize if it works or as expected or not. So I'm really excited for this moment of prototyping to see if it works or not.
Amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to following the three of you in the journey of prototyping and validation and even implementation stage later. So thank you, everyone, and the three of you and Panchali as well, so much for your interesting insights and your role in making this program a great experience for, you know, people like me, the coordinators, the facilitators, the companies, and yourselves and your individual participants. So I'd like to conclude by letting interested companies know that the application for the next Young SDG Innovators round opens up in the end of August. So make sure that you follow UN Global Compact's social media channels to not miss out on the launch for the next round. To learn more about the program, please take a look at the Young SDG Innovators FAQ page or reach out to Young SDG Innovators at unglobalcompact.org. We posted the link and the email address in the chat a couple of times now, but I'll post it here a final time for you to see it and have access to it. So yes, thank you again, Panchali, Hebba, Roberto, and Sarah for joining us for the session today. And to our audience, thank you for attending this breakout session. I hope that you will enjoy the rest of the Leader Summits. Thank you so much.